This is the Focus Shift podcast, your best listening experience for creating your best online business. We'll focus on topics that help you get discovered. So sit back, listen, take notes if you like, and get excited about growing your business.
You know, usually when you think of 10-second videos, you probably think of them as digital sugar rushes, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like a teenager doing a synchronized dance in their kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. Or just somebody pointing at floating text bubbles for a quick laugh before you inevitably, just swipe away.
Right, just mindless scrolling.
But today, we are on a mission to extract the absolute most crucial insights from a really comprehensive March 2026 guide by the PhotoBiz Growth Hub.
And it really proves that those exact same 10 seconds are actively closing five-figure business deals.
It's wild to think about. We're looking at the evolution of short-form video and why its real power, the kind that drives serious revenue, has, completely outgrown the endless scroll of social media apps.
It is a profound shift in digital strategy. I mean, if you're listening to this and thinking those 10 to 60-second clips are just vanity metrics for influencers.
Which a lot of people do think.
Right, they do. But marketers are actually reporting short-form video as one of the highest ROI formats across awareness, engagement, and actual conversion.
Okay, let's unpack this because it really starts with a pretty harsh reality check about how you, me, and everyone else is actually consuming content right now.
Yeah, we have to look at the mechanics of mobile-first behavior. The guide points out that short-form video isn't just a format. It is a literal mirror of modern consumer psychology.
Right.
Think about it. We are constantly quick scanning. We're engaging in silent viewing. Maybe you're on a crowded train or sitting in a waiting room.
We're in line at the grocery store.
Exactly. So the visual has to carry the entire narrative weight. And then there is the high repeat consumption pattern.
Oh, you mean that looping effect, where the video is so fast or so visually dense that you literally watch it 3 times just to process what you just saw.
Yeah, and the platforms reward that loop with massive distribution. It tricks the algorithm into thinking the video is incredibly engaging.
But the guide emphasizes something that really caught my attention here. It's the immense power of exactly 10 seconds. You don't need a mini documentary.
No, not at all. 10
intentional seconds can completely stop the scroll, establish your brand's entire vibe, and really reduce a customer's uncertainty.
Intentional is the operating word there. You can't just post 10 seconds of nothing.
Right.
The guide provides some brilliant, highly specific examples for photographers, though the psychology applies to any service business, really.
Like what?
Well, imagine a raw, flat image transforming into a stunning final edit within 3 seconds, or a tight shot of a bride reacting to a reflection in the mirror for the first time.
Oh, that's powerful.
Or even a high school senior laughing mid-session. It instantly conveys the feeling of working with you.
It really does. I mean, instead of a generic metaphor like, a firm handshake, a 10-second video is really more like a movie trailer.
That's a great way to look at it.
You don't need to watch the entire 2-hour film to know if it's your genre. You just need a few impactful scenes to know if you want to buy the ticket.
Exactly.
But, and I have to push back on this premise just a bit, you're telling me someone is going to drop thousands of dollars on a high-ticket service, like a premium wedding photography package, just because they saw a 10-second loop of a bride smiling? I just don't buy that a single short video carries that much persuasive weight.
What's fascinating here is that your skepticism is completely justified if we were talking about a single video.
Okay.
But the length of the video isn't what is doing the selling. To answer your pushback, we really have to dig into the Wise Owl research that's cited in the guide.
The video marketing research guide.
Right. They conduct this long-running annual research on video marketing. And what the data reveals is that success isn't about packing your entire value proposition into one longer video.
So what is it about?
It is about aligning a highly specific short video with the exact stage of the customer's psychological journey.
Wait, so I'm not trying to convince them to marry me on the first date?
Exactly.
I'm just giving them the exact piece of information they need for the phase they are currently in.
Precisely. Think of the traditional marketing funnel. At the top of the funnel, the discovery phase, those 10 seconds are purely about pattern interruption.
Just getting noticed.
Yeah, getting noticed. That is where you deploy a TikTok or an Instagram reel showing a dramatic before and after, or a quick 3 mistakes you're making hook.
Just to get their eyes on you.
Right. But once they move to the middle of the funnel, the consideration phase, their mindset shifts. Now, your 10 seconds are answering a frequently asked question or showing a mini case study of a past client.
Because at that point, they already know who I am, but they are sort of looking for reasons to rule me out.
Yes, looking for red flags.
So a quick behind-the-scenes video showing what it's actually like to work with me reduces that specific anxiety.
Exactly. And then we reach the bottom of the funnel, which is the conversion phase. This is where your short video serves as absolute proof.
Like what kind of proof?
It's a tight emotional testimonial or a crystal clear explainer for how to actually book. The video doesn't need to be long because it is delivering the precise psychological trigger the buyer needs at that specific moment.
Okay, so if we need this sequence of trailers, top of funnel, middle, bottom, I feel like if you're listening to this and you've ever stared blankly at your phone wondering what on earth to post today, this sounds completely overwhelming.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It sounds like a full-time job.
Yeah.
Which brings us to a massive pain point here, social media burnout. Because mapping out 10-second videos for every single stage of a buyer's journey, that's intense.
It is a fast track to burnout if you execute it the way most people do, which the guide actually calls the death of random viral attempts.
Yeah, just waking up and frantically asking, what trending audio can I jump on today to trick the algorithm?
Right, that is entirely unsustainable.
And the guide strongly advocates for walking away from that chaos entirely. Instead, they propose building what they call content pillars.
I love this concept.
Yeah, you create repeatable categories and you systematically post one video per pillar each week.
Let's look at the psychology behind why these 4 pillars actually work on a stranger's brain. First, they don't know you exist.
Right.
So you need the attraction pillar. The sole mechanism here is reach. This is where you use dramatic reveals, point-of-view moments, or strategically leverage a trend to cast a wide net.
Just to get in their feed. But once you have their attention, the psychology shifts. Which brings us to the second category, the authority pillar.
Yes.
The goal here isn't reach, it's reducing hesitation. Because if they found you through an attraction video, they immediately wonder, is this person actually legitimate?
Right. So you answer the unspoken objections in the buyer's mind. You post process explanations, myth-busting clips, or what to wear guide for a photo session.
A what to wear guide. That's a good one.
Yeah, because a what to wear guide doesn't just show your expertise. It eliminates the anxiety a client feels about looking bad on camera. Anxiety kills sales.
Wow, yeah.
By addressing it visually, you build authority instantly.
Then we move to the third, the connection pillar. This is pure trust building. You show the human element.
People buy from people.
Exactly. Client reactions, emotional highlights, maybe a micro story about why you started your business. And finally, the fourth is the conversion pillar.
The mechanism here is clarity. Make the next step totally frictionless. Give an overview of your packages, share availability, and post hard testimonials.
And if we look at the tactical execution of this, the guide emphasizes building these pillars for silent first consumption.
Yes, going back to that waiting room behavior we discussed earlier. Your visual has to do the heavy lifting.
So you must put your headline on the screen in the very first second. You have to use captions. And you must keep the cuts tight to remove any dead air.
You also need to rotate your calls to action. Instead of just saying book now every time, you say things like comment guide or save this for later.
Or watch pinned video. So what does this all mean? I look at this framework, attraction, authority, connection, conversion, and I have to be honest.
Uh-oh, here comes the pushback.
If I am a passionate creative or a small business owner, doesn't strictly following a spreadsheet of video categories kind of kill the authentic, raw vibe that makes social media work in the first place? It feels incredibly corporate to me.
I completely understand that hesitation, but let's reframe what a constraint actually does.
Okay.
Consistency beats random viral attempts because a framework doesn't dictate how you express yourself. It ensures what you are expressing actually serves a business purpose. Think of the pillars as an architectural blueprint. By shooting your content intentionally and publishing it natively across TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and Facebook Reels, you are building an invisible pathway.
A pathway for the customer.
Exactly. It naturally walks a stranger from discovering you to trusting you to finally booking you. It entirely eliminates the daily panic of wondering what to post, which actually preserves your creative energy to make the content itself more authentic.
Okay, I can see the logic there. You're trading the anxiety of the viral lottery for a reliable machine. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because everything we just talked about, the social media platforms, the algorithms, the guide makes a massive pivot right here.
A huge pivot.
We are transitioning to what they call the big migration. Social media gets the views, But your website is what actually closes the deal.
This is undoubtedly the most critical insight in the entire March 2026 guide. If you are only posting these videos to social apps, you are building an empire on rented land.
Rented land, yeah.
We are seeing a major consumer shift from rented social traffic to owned web traffic.
Exactly. Consumers now actively expect these snackable short-form video experiences on the actual publisher websites they visit, not just in the apps.
But most small business websites are still totally stuck in the past.
Yeah.
Just static text and flat images.
Let me put it this way. Keeping your best videos on Instagram while your website is just text is like aggressively handing out flyers on a busy street corner. But when the customer actually walks into your store, the lights are off and the shelves are empty.
That is a brilliant analogy.
You have their attention out on the street. Now you need to give them an immersive experience where you control the environment without 100 other competitors, a literal thumb swipe away.
That is the perfect distinction. On your website, you own the real estate, and the guide breaks down highly specific layout integrations to migrate this video strategy to your owned land.
Instead of just listing all these layouts out, let's group them by what they actually achieve. Because looking at the guide, there are essentially two categories: layouts that instantly establish your vibe, and layouts designed to assassinate heavy blocks of text.
I love that. Text assassins.
Let's start with the vibe builders, like banner videos and video backgrounds.
The underlying mechanism here is instant positioning. When someone lands on your homepage, a 10 to 20-second banner video loop with no audio required immediately communicates your credibility.
It's just right there in their face.
Right. It's a quick montage of your best work or your product in use. It bypasses the logical brain entirely and hits the emotional brain instantly. This is premium. This is who we are.
And then you have the text replacers. Things like story panels, which they call scrollytelling, and list item layouts.
These are so effective.
Think about a typical services page. Usually you are confronted with a massive bulleted list of text. The guide suggests replacing those paragraphs with 6 to 12-second feature highlights.
Yes.
So instead of a 300-word paragraph trying to explain the vibe of a newborn photography session, you just embed a quiet, calm, cinematic loop of a newborn in the studio right next to the package price.
Because reading takes cognitive calories. Watching a 6-second loop is totally effortless.
So true.
They also highlight pinboard layouts, which directly mirror the masonry grid browsing behavior people are already addicted to on social media.
Yeah?
You create a browse and believe experience natively on your site with mini case studies.
I see the power in assassinating text, but I'm going to push back again.
Go for it.
If I do all of this, if my homepage has a looping banner, and my services page has scrollytelling videos, and my portfolio is moving pinboard, won't my website just look like a chaotic Times Square billboard?
It sounds like it would be a lot.
Isn't that complete sensory overload for the buyer?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the goal of integrating video isn't to add noise, it's to reduce cognitive friction. A Times Square billboard is chaotic because 50 different brands are screaming 50 different messages at you all at once.
Okay, fair point.
On your website, it's one cohesive narrative. A well-placed, silent 10-second loop of that calm newborn session doesn't overwhelm the senses. It instantly communicates peace and safety. Short videos show what you do exponentially faster than paragraphs can. When the placement is highly intentional, it guides the visitor gracefully because they instantly get it.
So it's not a billboard. It's a perfectly tailored visual tour.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. But, and there's always but having the most beautiful, frictionless video website in the world is completely useless if no one can actually find it.
Right. The traffic problem.
Which brings us to the invisible architecture. We have to talk about SEO and the foundational code required to make this migration work.
This is the harsh reality of the technical execution. Search engines like Google cannot watch a video in the way a human does to understand its emotional resonance or context.
Right. Building an immersive video website without SEO is like trying to sell a masterpiece painting by leaving it in a locked, pitch-black room.
Nobody is going to see it.
The search engines are the art appraisers, and the SEO elements, the headings, the code, are the spotlights that let them actually see what the painting is so they can tell the public about it.
To turn on those spotlights, the guide outlines several non-negotiable steps. First, your videos must be anchored to strong H1 and H2 headings on the page.
So the text around it matters.
Immensely. The surrounding text has to explicitly state what the video is about. You need hyper-relevant title tags and meta descriptions.
And they specifically drill down into something called video object structured data.
That's a big one.
For anyone not coding their own sites, think of video object structured data like a highly detailed index card glued to the back of that masterpiece painting in a massive museum archive.
That's exactly what it is.
The search engine reads that index card to know exactly how long the video is, what the thumbnail is, and who it's for. That's what allows your video to pop up right in the main Google search results with a little thumbnail.
Furthermore, there is the crucial aspect of accessibility. The guide dictates you must include captions and, ideally, full-text transcripts on the page itself.
So we're bringing text back.
Well, yes, but this isn't solely for users watching on mute. A transcript gives the search engine a massive block of readable, keyword-rich text to index and rank.
Okay, but listen to this technical checklist. We are talking about structured data, H1s, H2s, meta descriptions, full transcripts. I have to ask, at this point, are we actually creating videos for human beings to enjoy, or are we just feeding the robots to play the algorithm game?
It's a very common frustration, honestly, but it's a false dichotomy. It is a deeply symbiotic relationship.
How so?
The technical context, the transcripts, the structured data, that is what drives the visibility. You're feeding the robots, yes, but that visibility is what drives the actual human traffic to your owned land. The robots just facilitate the human connection.
You can't have the human connection if the humans can't find you.
Precisely.
And the guide leaves us with a really practical, publish-ready checklist to make sure both the robots and the humans get what they need.
It's a great checklist.
On the creative side,
Right.
you need your hook in the first 1 to 2 seconds, strictly one core message per video so you don't confuse the viewer, captions burned in, and a clear call to action.
And on the technical side, they note you should shoot in a 9.16 aspect ratio. That is the tall, vertical format standard for social media.
Right, the phone shape.
But you have to ensure your main action is centered in the frame. This creates safe zones, so when that vertical video is embedded horizontally on your website, the top and bottom can crop cleanly without cutting off your face.
Oh, that's such a good tip.
And finally, you must compress the files to web-friendly sizes so your site load speed doesn't plummet.
It all comes down to meticulous execution. So, to summarize the overarching takeaway from this March 2026 PhotoBiz Growth Hub guide, short-form video has completely transcended the era of viral dances.
It really has.
It is no longer just about chasing views. It is a mechanism for meticulous clarity. It is about building profound trust in mere moments and then seamlessly moving that trust from rented social media apps to your own website.
That's the key.
If you're listening to this, whether you are a photographer trying to evoke emotion or any business owner looking to scale, you aren't just making content anymore. You are building a visual growth engine.
This raises an important question. If a highly intentional, well-placed 10-second video can entirely replace a 500-word About Me page, or completely clarify a complex service menu without a single paragraph, what other text-heavy parts of our digital lives are about to become completely obsolete? Are we rapidly moving toward a purely visual internet where reading is the exception, not the rule? Something to think about as you design your next digital space.
A purely visual internet that completely changes how we think about the web. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope this shifts how you look at the power of 10 seconds and, more importantly, what you do with them. Until next time.
The Focus Shift podcast is presented by PhotoBiz, the best website solution for photographers. Whether you're launching your site or scaling your online business, PhotoBiz has your back. To get started for free, visit photobiz.com today.